Hi, in this video I'm going to introduce you to the Incidental exam kit. I'm going to talk you through the instruments in it and the thought process behind how we developed it. So this instrument kit is part of our The One instrument range, and they're all made with our own bespoke designed silicone handles, and they're all made to be really ergonomic, but also economical and accessible for all. So when you open up your box for our exam kit, you're going to come and get this. So this is a autoclavable cassette which keeps everything together and locks nicely, and it can be autoclaved up to 135 degrees. So you can just load that up and pop it in, or package the instruments after. When you want to open these instrument cassettes, you just need to push in and lift open. So there it won't open. Push in and they lift, and really easy. Once you laid the instruments out, I'd recommend that you close them at the same time. Just push together and it will lock. Okay. So I'm going to talk you through the instruments now that are in there, and I'm going to start by talking you through our mirror handle, but also the mirrors that we have available on the website. So the mirror in the kit's going to come with a rhodium front surface incidental mirror on it. We think it's really important to get all dentists using front surface mirrors all the time, and rhodium ones as a minimum. A rhodium front surface mirror gives you real clarity of vision. Those ones with the old glass on with the mirror behind, they always distort the view, and even for an exam it's really not optimal anymore, and it's difficult to diagnose conditions properly. So we'd like to use front surface mirrors wherever we can all the time. If we're going to use them all the time, because front surface mirrors scratch more, we need to make them more accessible and economic. So we've worked quite hard to find a supplier that will provide us with some really good quality front surface rhodium mirrors. And we're going to sell these on the website. You get 12 in a kit. We have them in size 4, which is slightly smaller for endodontists or people who like a smaller mirror, and size 5. So when that mirror gets scratched, don't worry about it. These are low cost to replace. Have some in your drawer and just pop in a new one like this. Okay? And the handle, therefore, can be used for everything. But lovely silicone grip, incredibly ergonomic. Okay. Rhodium front surface mirrors are a good minimum, and they're a good price and good value, but they're not the highest quality mirrors on the market. So not sure when, but I think it was in the last 10 years, a new class of material, so not rhodium, but zirconia coated mirrors have come available. And there's a few manufacturers of these, and the ones we like the most are this Hanacrack company from Germany. And we got to know these mirrors with the popular Relax mirrors that came available and we retail. The Relax mirrors are they all come in one unit, and what we wanted to move forward was using the same class of mirror, but something that could be easily changed, a little bit more economic when they get scratched, because like all mirrors, these get scratched too. Now, the thing with the Hanacrack mirrors is because they're zirconia coated, I'm just going to zoom in, they give you an incredible image, okay? And you get a lot less light loss because they're so much more reflective as a surface. So here's your rhodium. Maybe we're going to use that for everyday use. Look how clear the image is in. It's no distortion. It's great. But then compare it to the zirconia. Look how much brighter and lighter it is. It's like high definition. And you see them side by side. So we'd like to make these available and a little bit better for the environment and a little bit ergonomic with our handles, which we prefer. So we now sell them as singles. And what I actually would do in my surgery is I have these and I autoclave them sort of separately, and I'll just put them on for procedures where I feel like I need that extra image quality. If you could afford them, I would use them all the time though, but they are a little bit more expensive. So we can pop that on our handles, and very quickly and easily you've got that high definition picture and imaging. Okay, so let's just walk through the rest of the kit. I've got some nice features I want to talk to you about there, and we'll put the mirrors aside for the moment. Okay, so the next thing in the kit is the tweezers. So I find that you need tweezers all the time in dentistry. For an exam, I might use it for cold testing with cotton wool sensibility testing. But this kit is also a companion piece for all the treatment sessions we do. So I'll tend to have an exam kit out and the cons kits, and I'll talk them through in a different video. So what can you do with a tweezer to make them a little bit better than the original designs? So they're just really good quality. They clip really well. They mesh well together. They will grab what you want, and we'll use them for wedge placing and all those things. The one little innovation that we've done here is we've added these notches to the edges of the tweezers specifically. Why have we done these? Well, one of my pet hates is that the tweezers will never stay or fit properly in a instrument cassette. So these notches are made to line up and hold those tweezers in position and sink them nicely in our cassettes so that they can then be locked easily. So a little innovation that just gives you a slightly improved feature. Okay, so that's those done. Right, the next thing I want to talk you through is the probe. So again, there's a little bit of decision making here on how long to make the probe solid and all those things. And we make it these double-ended. So let me talk you through the thought process here. So we want to have fewer instruments as we can, really. So we have made the larger of the probe thick enough, sharp enough and long enough to be suitable for endodontic work. So this is like a DG16 probe. It's really, really solid. And you can probe and check, unroof and get into canals with that. Okay, so it's multi-use. You can use it for exams and we can use it for our endodontic work. And it works really well. The problem is sometimes you need a slightly shorter probe for different areas in the mouth. And so we, on the other side of it, have this hoot shorter probe. So that's great for probing posterior fissures maybe to check, to remove debris and get in and check that. So the other thing that we really like about these curved probes is they're incredibly good at helping you to invert your rubber dam. So this is a tip I picked up from Celine Higton on one of her courses. And what you can do is when you want to invert rubber dam, what you really want to do is press on the tooth, push down, and then just sort of roll it in towards the edge. So you can do it with lots of instruments, but a curved probe like this is particularly good. So we're angle in at sort of an angle into the tooth. We're not particularly touching the rubber dam. We're sort of tracing over the tooth, if that makes sense. And you can just tuck it in really, really nicely. And this is probably, I found, the best instrument now for inverting rubber dam, and therefore it's nice to have it available in our exam kits. So that therefore means, for me anyway, that's going to be available for all of my cons treatments. And then normally for all of my treatment sessions, I'm using rubber dam routinely as well. So that's the thought process behind that. The next instrument I'm going to talk you through is the perio probe, the one that measures. Here we go. All our names are the one that does something. So that's the one that probes, the one that reflects, and the one that measures. So this is a periodontal instrument, and I think this is quite unique. We have made it so that it's double-ended with a BPE probe and a Williams probe. So I will credit my friend Jim Dorgan, who requested this instrument from us, and I think it's a great idea and it's really ergonomic to use. So you've got a WHO BPE designed probe on one side, so regular ball-ended probe so that it's not sharp, and then you've got that 0 to 3.5 as the silver band and 3.5 to 5, so it's your basic BPE probe really. But on the other side we've got a really nice Williams probe, so we can do on the exam appointment, get those pocket depths charted. And I don't think I've seen many other brands that sell these double-ended, but they're particularly good and efficient. We want to have as few instruments as possible, so double-ending them, always a good idea. Okay, that brings us to the last one in the kit, which is a Briot probe, and we call it the one that probes margins. I think it's really important, and something we really strongly advocate is that we have a Briot probe in our exam kits. Why? Because you do need it's really the best instrument for getting under fillings, getting under crowns, and actually checking those margins of all those restorations, which we should be doing routinely in the exams. The number of times you find a big drop of decay that you don't always see, even on the x-ray, when we do this. So I'm a big advocate of this, and we've made sure that it's in our kits. Briot probe's nicely sized. You've got a decent size of probe, which is important. And if you ever get little bends on these, you can just take a Soflex disc and just resharpen at the edge of it. So if you've got a bit of length, they last a lot longer as you nibble and sharpen up the way at them. So that works really well. And you can get in and check all of your margins. So hugely, highly recommend. And the two ends give you the angle to get in everywhere. So I really recommend these for your exams. And of course, that's part of the kit. One thing about these is they can be quite a high risk of needle stick, just the way that the probe is sort of shaped. And that's one of the reasons why it's so nice to have your exam kits safely put away in your instrument cassettes. So that's my talk through our instrument selection. I hope you found it helpful, and then we'll talk you through both anterior and posterior cons kits shortly. But this is exam kit we would also have out for all treatment sessions. So that's how it's designed to accompany and partner the other kits. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.